Hello everyone and welcome back to Restore You. It is Angela and we are here with a fun video with a little watercoloring. So before you click me off, if you are not someone who considers yourself a person who likes to or has the ability to paint, whether it be with watercolors or acrylics, I assure you this is for everyone. So we're going to play with some book pages and you don't need any experience. This is not anything that is difficult. In fact, you probably will find that it's very cathartic and kind of allows you to have a little mindful time and just relax and kind of let your creativity run wild and see what you can create. So before we get started, a shout out to some of our new subscribers, Janice, Career Ladder LLC, and B. Campbell. Welcome to the channel and thank you for subscribing. So here's what you need to have, and then I'll share with you what you might want to have. But the only thing you need are some kind of watercolors. These could be your kids' watercolors. I just have a palette. I grabbed out my really nice watercolors and I thought, I'm not going to use these because most people have some kind of watercolors, whether it's just your basic colors or otherwise. I did grab out these. These were from TJ Maxx. They're metallics. I don't know. They were very, very cheap and I have never used them. So I brought those out just in case. You'll need a paintbrush, which I have a couple here. This paintbrush, this sized paintbrush works really well for almost everything we're doing. This is a number 5, and I think this is a 4. A lot of times I'll use like a 7, but this is what I grabbed, and so this is what we will do. And then you need some kind of pen, and these are the Faber-Castell black. This is number 199. Well, they both say 199. This is 1.5, and this says SB, which I cannot remember what that means. But one of them looks like this. I've got a few others with me, but these are the ones I like to use all the time. And then this one has a really tiny nib. And then you need some book pages or paper. Doesn't matter. But that's all you need to have in order to play. I do have a water bottle, which I will go ahead and spray my watercolors to activate them. I do have something to rinse brushes. I don't think we're going to do this on camera, but I will show you some tricks with gesso. So if you want to try it, you might want to grab that out. I do have some StazOn ink and an ink pad and some stamps that we might play with. And then I have a watercolor, it's just a watercolor brush with water in it so that we can play with that as well. What else do I have? I think that's really everything. I'm looking. So let me show you what I'm talking about, and then we'll get started on some fun. So I've just grabbed out these are really, really thin book pages from a German magazine. These are some coffee dyed dictionary, book page, regular paper. These actually are watercolor that I had Kool-Aid dyed. So I just grabbed some of those for the fun of it. More dictionary paper, and then some music. So that's what I pulled out for us to play with. Now, this is what inspired me. I squirreled. Imagine that. Who knew? I was working on the Retro Kids Journal and the Fairy Journal and decided I needed a little play. Actually, I sidetracked myself because we are sold out of our wallpaper samples, and that's one of our best sellers in our Etsy shop. So I've been cutting those up, and I thought, before I get into journal making, I think I just need a little time to play. And I came upon this page that I had signed. This is from 2021, but this is just a piece of music that I had done some watercolor and made some little flowers. And I thought, I haven't done anything like this for a while. I don't even know if I've ever done this on my channel. So, so I thought, well, why not? So we have this one. And I'm telling you, you don't have to have a lot of skills to do that. And then this one. So this is kind of what we're going after and what we will be creating. So what you need to do, we're going to start with, what are we going to start with? Well, let's start with the very easiest. And we're just going to plop some paints onto, just like this one. This one's already dry. I'm just going to set it right over here so we can just play. And we're just going to do exactly like this. Pick some colors. This, of course, won't be dry, so we'll use this one for our next step. But if, you know, if drawing isn't your thing, if, you know, let's move that closer so you can at least kind of see what I'm doing here. If you think watercolors are intimidating, because a lot of people do, you know, this is the way to go. All I'm doing is just, there's no thought involved. I'm just adding some random colors onto my page. So these are just like big old blobs. And I mean, you could be more careful with it. You could do, you know, something like that if you wanted, you know, and taking into consideration that we're going to loosely create some florals out of this. And I just kind of add, I mean, you can get this pretty wet. It's not going to hurt anything. What other color? So we've got like bright colors here. So, you know, I did already activate this, but, you know, they do dry. Ooh, I like that a little bit. And I always rinse my brush if I'm going to really change out colors. So I mean, obviously you don't have to, but you certainly can. Let's see. I'm trying to think of different colors that I haven't really used a lot of. Let's do something with this. I'm thinking we'll add some purple in with it. This might make it look a little bit muddy, but I think we'll be okay. And, you know, the one thing with book pages, not like when you're working with your watercolor paper, is that it soaks right in. So when you're doing these, you may have to come back several times to add several layers and, you know, kind of make the depth a little bit different. But just make sure you let it dry. You can use, I do have my heat tool over here if I really wanted to. But I mean, what if our goal wasn't to actually make flowers at all? What if we wanted to do something else? We can do that. And these will kind of represent what we're going to work on next. That yellow and that now kind of muted blue. And I'm just going to leave this. I can always add to it later, but we'll put this aside to dry. And then we're going to get this out. So you say, flowers are not my thing. Drawing is not my thing. Not to worry. So this is completely dry. And I have, I had one more I wanted to use. Hang on 2 seconds. 2 shakes. I thought I could maybe use these on, where is it? Here we go. I thought maybe we could use some of these from this, whether I use it as the book page or if I cut it out in the fairy journal, maybe. Okay, so I've got this stamp. This is where, if you have a stamp, grab it. Let's see, will this little guy fit on here? Well enough, he fits. So I've already made these little splotches, and I do this every time I use a Stay-On. I don't know. Take off the plastic piece. All you're going to do is wait until your paint dries. And now you just stamp. I don't have really a cushy mat under there, so I don't know how well these will turn out. There you go. Now wait for it. Let's see. I'm just going to take these off. How about the B? Okay. What else shall we do? Now, just remember, if you're going to do this, you do want to use some kind of permanent ink. Distress ink or distress oxide will not work. So if you didn't want to do anything more than just pop these on and call it good, look how adorable that is. It looks super cute. Let's see. I might do that one down here too. Oop, I goofed that one up bad. It's okay. Oh. I couldn't have planned that better. Wow. Holy cow, that's interesting. Let's do this guy kind of coming off the page. Underneath here, I have my cutting mat, and it's not as big as my wallpaper that I'm using underneath, so that's what happened, is it went off the side. Okay, so one more, which, oh, and let's do another B. And we'll do this one here. No. I'm trying to decide. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. What happened to my B? There it is. Okay. Oh, I missed one. I did not grab any flowers to do with this because I thought, well, we'll just do something else on these for the fun of it instead of flowers, because that's what we're going to focus most of our time on. All right, there you have it. You've just created your page. How easy was that? Now, that's cute, but you could also, let's see, I have some that just didn't, here's one. Okay, so that one's already been printed on. This did not turn out that great, but we're going to work with it. If I wanted to, I could come back in. I could use, I could grab out my watercolor markers or my watercolor pencils, and I could, you know, if you have those, then that's awesome. Try to use them. And you could have a little fun with this, you know, getting it a little darker in here. You know, you can add a lot of depth, a lot of layering. You know, and so where that didn't stamp very well, you can make it super, super cute. You could use, let's see if I have like I could add some green there, bug his eyes out, you know, and really make it more succinct if you wanted to. You don't have to, but there's so many things that you could do with it. We're not here to make a masterpiece. I just want to show you some easy ways that you can utilize your watercolors, actually paint and draw flowers and or other things if you don't have, you know, if drawing isn't your forte. So there's one thing. You can either put the paint on and or stamp first. So number one way, and then see, you look like an expert. But let's just say, let me reactivate this. I've been talking too much. I hope you guys are having a good day. It is a Saturday when I'm filming this, and Dave, maybe I want to be a little bit more careful with it and do something there. Let's just leave that just like that. And then, what color? Maybe I want his little, let's see what happens if I a little bit more careful. But see how that will soak into your, you know, where there, it's not stamped. And I'm just going to kind of spread that out a little bit just to add to it. Look how I'm holding my my paintbrush. Sometimes I hold it like this. Sometimes I hold it like a pencil. Sometimes I will hold it like this. It's all in the angle and how much pressure I want to put on something. So I can just come down in here, get more of that. There we go. That's kind of cute. All right, let's do something with this butterfly. Now this one, we could spend a whole, I actually did one of these some other time. I don't remember when. But this, if you can see what did work, there's little tiny flowers within it. So I could probably rectify this if I wanted to. If we'll work on this just a little bit and then we'll move on. And if we have time, we can come back to that. Okay, so there's if you want it just how it is, right? But I'm thinking we want some more color to kind of enhance it. And the beauty about watercolors is that you can do wet on wet, you can do dry on dry, you can, you know, do lots of cool things. And now we're just kind of blending that in to almost make, it's almost like we're creating our own papers with just a variety of colors. So we're filling up and filling in that page. Not difficult. So far, so good, right? Pretty easy. Okay, so I'm liking me some, you know how I feel about, oh gosh, got a little carried away there. I think I need to, there we go. You know how I feel about dragonflies. I really love them. You know, it's, dragonflies represent change and adaptability and I don't know. They're just new beginnings. Look how cool that looks. Now let's see if we can find, instead of using my paint pens, let's see. I know I have like a neon-y. This might get loud. If it is, turn down your volume for a second. I have all these. These are Chocolas. I don't think they're very expensive. They're just brush pens. I thought I had like a neon-y green. I could be mistaken. Those might be, you could also use, if you have gel pens, you could enhance them with that. Let's see what this one looks like. And this, I'm just adding, see how, look how that blue kind of coming out in that. Isn't that cool? But you guys, there's nothing difficult about this. So if you want to try it, just go grab your watercolors. And I mean, you don't have to use book page. Look how cool that is, how this is all blending into that. And we can just kind of come over to here. I love that. And now we're, I mean, this, how cute would this be if we just cut that off and used it as a journal card? We could make it into a pocket, all kinds of fun things. Okay, we're going to leave that one for now. This one I got a little heavy-handed with. This one has little flowers on it too. So let's just see if we can just put a couple of these on in the yellow little daisy spots. Kind of carefully, and then we'll see if it will dry. This one turned out a little bit better than the other ones. You'll have to excuse me. Like I said, it is Saturday. Dave just got done making me lunch. He made BLTs, and now he is watching a movie, and that boy laughs a lot. He's watching his shows. So if you hear somebody cackling over there, it's just my husband. He's having a good old time. Let's see, can we use... Let's see, we've used kind of yellow. Let's use some of this darker orange. And this I'm just going to make really light, because I don't really know what's going to happen with this little number here. Okay. Now, what color shall we go with here? Let's do something. Let's do some purple. This is a moth, so we need to make the moth a little bit more pretty. There isn't a lot to him that you can see because it's mostly stamps, so we'll just go with that and maybe use some. Let's try this pink. So we haven't used that. Oh, and you know what else I got out? So the kids are both gone. Landon's on his trip, on his first little voyage. He went to a car show and race with his buddy. Demi is at her friend's. So it's just Dave and I. And I had bought a banana cream pie, which I don't eat sweets, but I do like banana. I like me some banana cream pie. So I took that out of the freezer. I had bought it a while ago, and I bought it for Dave's birthday, and he didn't eat it. So I got it out, hoping that he will. All right, we just need one more. I'm just gonna leave that one like it doesn't exist, and maybe we'll just do something with it, or we'll cut it up, or I'll use it in the journal. And the whole goal is, just wait until stuff dries and then come back to it. I think I'll just stop right there and then let this dry, because I want to show you some of the other ways that we can use these. All right, stamps are done. All right, what am I going to show you next? Paint, then stamp, stamp, then paint. Oh, let's just do some freehand. Did I do any? Oh, I did. Okay, so the other thing that we can do, let me find it. Okay, where are they? Okay, you guys can help me. I had some where I did these in advance. How can they disappear like that? Oh, they're right here. Okay. So now, we're going to do some drawing. So there's a couple ways that you can do this. So this is my draw it first and then paint on it. So I'm going to do that for an example. Shall we use, can you guys see this okay? Let's try it with this. I'm thinking what would be kind of fun is, now that I got all these things out, what about just like kind of a sunflower? We're going to start with this pen. This is the, which one was this? Oh, this is a Tombow. How did this end up in here? Oh, well, we're just going to go with it. And I think, or you know what we should do? Okay, let's just make like a big, just one great big, kind of, let's make it like a daisy slash, I don't know, black-eyed Susan. And that's all we're going to have on here is just this great big floppy flower. And then let's just say, let's use this other one. Whoa. And I'm just kind of emphasizing maybe a few things here. Let's use this to make, let's see, if it's a black-eyed Susan, it has little dots, right? I think. So does a sunflower, though. So I guess this will be whatever it turns out to be. And this, I'm just popping, see if I hold it straight upright, the dots get smaller. And of course, you could use even a tinier pen, but this is good enough. Okay, we're going to leave that how it is. We're not going to do anything else with the marker. It would be cool, would have been cool if it said like flower there, or black-eyed Susan, or and I'm thinking let's make some. Now this is where, if I'm doing it this way, oh, I didn't wait till this dried. These pens dry pretty fast, but depending on what marker or what you're using, you might want to give it more time than I just did. Now, what we might try to do, I think there was a kind of a goldy. Let's see what that looks like. Kind of looks muddy, doesn't it? But maybe just right here on some of these. That doesn't look too bad, does it? And then, like I said, I'm not using a template, but certainly if you are someone who feels more comfortable, I mean, you can paint along and just kind of do what I didn't want to use orange. And just paint along with me. I think that would be fabulous. I like the way that this is turning out on this coffee dyed paper. But you guys, just like I said, look how easy this is. I mean, if you have it, like even that, like we could, that's something you could use as a template. And if you want, we can try one. Okay, let's see. And I kind of like, a lot of times, I like the bottoms to kind of have a little bit of different fade in. Remember, use your water. That's what it's for. Paper will dry. The whole purpose of this was, you know, have a little fun. Don't worry. There are no rules. If you know what I always say, the rules are there are no rules. I wanted you to see just how fun it can be if you just kind of let yourself go and, you know, don't worry about it. This isn't a green that I like very well. I could, remember, if you don't have watercolors and you just have watercolor pens, quite honestly, those can work just as well, sometimes better. Because look at the shading that you can do. I want a dark color. Just trying to give you guys some options. For example, if you don't have some of the tools that I do, then also the cool thing about watercolors is, you know, even if you see some that are just like, wow, those look like they've seen their better days, well, don't worry about it. Use them. Just reactivate them. Use that water. Try it out. Now watch. So yeah, Dave was supposed to, I don't know, he and our partner were supposed to go to, I don't know, they're working on something on one of our houses, I think. And I don't know what changed, but he didn't have to go. And I was like, well, that's good. That's a little too dark. I don't really like that. That looks not, I don't like it. But we can do that and back some of that off. So look how fun that is. Now, let's just, for the sake of this, let me see. Let me get my book. I put it down here. when I am drawing, you know, because of course I'm impatient, but if I'm drawing a book page, I just grab another book or something to do that with. Let's just get this a little more dry. Oh, sorry. Turn down your volume if you don't want to hear that. My heat gun is old. It's from close to my heart, and it takes probably like 30 seconds or so to... It smells like coffee, really. I was playing in here earlier, and Dave's like, what are you doing? And I said, what do you mean? He's like, something smells. And I'm like, I'm just drying paper. No big deal. Don't mind me. But look how fast. That's the only real spot that's really, really wet. Okay, there you have it. All right, so now we have painted over most of what I had drawn. So if you want those more succinct lines, now would be a good time to do that. I'm going to add some more depth in with something. I don't know. I feel like I'm feeling like I don't know where all my... I like how dark that one turned out, but then I like how you can see the book page through it too. Okay, so let's just make this come to life. And remember, it's just a play. If you don't like it, it's a piece of paper. It's just paper, friends. I'm just adding some depth in there with that. I want some over here too. And maybe here. Okay, let's make this, I think I want this lighter, almost neon-y green. Let's see, how does that look? You can wet this. I actually want to come outside of that a little bit. I like this in the depth of that. I don't know how it looks on camera, but I don't like this one. But I think it'll all be okay with a little bit of pen here in a second. Because I'm not even thinking about this. I'm just like, okay, whatever. Okay. Now, let me see. I have a pen. This one. This is what I actually signed. And don't forget, you guys, sign your work. Always. There you go. But I'm thinking maybe some of these tiny little pin dots will kind of help give it a little dimension over those larger ones. I'm almost thinking like literally above where I had made that line. I know you can't really see this with my big old hand in the way. So do you see how that just kind of over that line? Okay, now let's take this one. Just a little bit thicker. This is the SC. Whatever that means. And with this time when I do it, I'm just going to pounce it. Put it down, pop it right back off. Because I think I was just a little heavy-handed. All right. So anyway, he did not have to go do whatever it was he was going to do. So we just been hanging out. It's been kind of nice. And so he's watched a couple movies, and I've been down here. Like I said, I spent all day yesterday adding things in my Etsy shop. So, and that's what I was doing this morning, was doing some more stuff. Let's see what happens with this. And we just kind of go add just maybe, and again, some of this might be a smidgy wet. Be careful with what kind of pen you're using, especially if you're using a good one like these are. You don't want it to ruin your pen or your marker that you're using. Let's use the thicker one too. Where did it go? Right here. Okay, now see, if I'm holding it this way, I can get a broader line. I can go like that. Very light. And I'm just kind of doubling up what I did before. It's all about the pressure that you put on. Now, I am really no expert at watercolor. I like to do it, but I am not a pro. Now, I will tell you, though, one of my favorites to watch is Suzanne Rose Art, and she does all kinds of things. She does, oh gosh, I think she does jelly prints and all kinds of things. So if you want to really maybe, I don't know, it's been a long time since I've watched any of her videos, but this is how I kind of got started doing these. I don't know if she does a lot of technique videos. But just search her channel. You can find out. So look how cute that is. Now, well, let's dry it and we can look. Oh, before we do that, let's do some, shall we splatter it? Because that's always fun. Now, I did grab out, I always have this handy. This is just like a fan brush, and I'm just gonna, this is acrylic paint, by the way. I got out, well, I guess the gold's gone. Black, gold, and white. There we go. I did this the other day, and I didn't use a splat box, which I'm not going to do it now either. And I have it, I got it on my mat. You know, the mat that I got for my birthday? So my feet don't hurt. Look how cute that is. I'm going to go add a little black, too. Yeah, so now I got to get a magic eraser and, like, get on my hands and knees and try it. Ooh. That was not enough black in there. That was a lot of water. And, you know, when I was doing these this morning, there we go. Getting aggressive with it. I did, oh gosh, I don't know, several in a very short amount of time. And, you know, like I said, if you do one and you don't like it, pitch it. Or use it for collage. You could always use it for collage. It's very rustic. That would be cute in like a farm journal. And this is the first time I've used like the coffee dyed book page to actually work with this. What are we at? 39 minutes. We're doing good. Now I could keep building this up and working on it and adding more to it, but we're just going to leave this like it is for now. Let's see. This one looks like it's, we were playing with this one. Let's dry it just a little bit. This is the one we were going to experiment with. Now let's let it dry a little bit more. We'll go ahead and let's decide which one we want to use. So we can use, we have that flower. I did these in like 3 minutes. I don't like this one, but maybe this is one we should do. And then I've got this one. Let's just go with these two and see what we can do. Okay. Maybe we'll work on them at the same time. Hold on, I'm thinking. Okay, so I did do a freehand one. Do you guys want to see me do just like a, before we do that, just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about when you're just drawing. Let's just do it on this. Let's just do it on this because this was just like a bunch of stuff, and we'll just go for it. So let's just see. This is the flower we have to use as our template. What's it gonna look like? Okay, what I just did right here basically is, I'm thinking, oh, that would be like kind of cute there. And then I see this. And that comes around. I'm not very good at following. I'm not good at following directions. Imagine that. Now, that was just with that really thin marker. Let's just see what we can do here. I'm probably going to just make a big old mess of it, but it's really hard for me to look at this and... Yeah, that looks like a whole bunch of nothing, doesn't it? But we're just going to play with it. Let's just make it. Let's use something darker. It's supposed to be red. Now remember that I'm totally going to make this crazy. It's over some blue. By the way, these, I was doing that to see what would happen to the yellow, but nothing. I probably need more water on it. Let's use the actual paintbrush. Oh, here, there. Now, does this look anything like the one that's over here? Absolutely not. But if you're trying to build a shape and you have no idea where to start, at least it gives you some. And this one really doesn't look like that because there's some colors underneath here that were already on the paper, but it's all right. This is probably one, I mean, honestly, I don't throw a lot of these away. I just use them for collage when I'm just messing. But you get the idea. I didn't mean to divert from what we were doing, but there you go. There's much better examples of that than this. Oh, funny. Okay, let's get back to the ones we were going to do. And I don't know. I think we're only going to have time to do one of these because I want to show you one other. I kind of want to play with that if we can get it dry. Okay, let's see. We're going to make this one. I'm going crazy using the purple. And you know what? This probably will be the... Let's see. Okay, I don't know what he's watching in there, but it's getting a little loud, so my apologies. I just need to talk louder. Somebody being very passionate about something in there. I'm kind of liking this. Is this purple? Let's see. This is really runny, and so I want to make it even. Kind of shaky it. Guys, this non-purple loving woman is lacking me some purple. Oops. Not to worry, not to worry. We just spread it out here. And you can do this too. I mean, you can put a lot of it on there. You can spread it out. Like I said, I'm not an expert at... And I'm kind of staying sort of-ish in the lines a little bit. But I prefer not to. Well, you know, I like to color outside the lines. I just think it gives it a cooler look when you get kind of that, oh, I didn't really mean to do it that way. It just kind of turned out that way. Look to it. I like the way that looks. Now, like I said, when it dries, is it going to dry just like this? No. So if you want to go back around it, certainly do that. Okay, let's do... I really like that purple with possibly, yeah, like let's make the stem, the leaves and stem a little bit more turquoise-esque, and we'll add some. And the less water you add, the darker it's going to remain. So you could be very meticulous and not, you know, and just have it be once and done. But I kind of like to see what it's going to turn out like. In layers, you know, like continuing to dry it and add more, dry it and add more. So we'll do that with this one. There you go. Let's finish her up. Just first layer. And you know what? First layer can just be all, that's all you do. Let's add something. Just a smidge. Let's see, we have a... Yeah, there we go. See, I'm just bringing that around on the sides. Okay, let's just dry it up and see what happens. Because we want to dry this one too and then create them on there. Now, the other thing that you can do is, let's see. Oh, shoot. Grab my book. I was almost there. So yeah, somewhere in here. Yeah, here we go. I'll show you this and this. So there we go. That's pretty much dry. Now you can just go back. You can, your art is done. So the other thing you can do, let's just dry this one a little bit better. This is probably my favorite way to do it because you have a blob and now you can create it into something. So. All right, we'll just quickly make some flowers out of that. Let's see. I'm trying to put this stuff over here so you can see what all we've done. Okay, so now on this one, we're going to do it the opposite. So we've already got the paint on here that we put on there earlier. And like this one, I don't know, we can do, oh. And I'm just making kind of, I don't know, what are these? Like, it's kind of like lavender. This is actually almost like a heart is what I'm doing. There you go. Done. Let's see. Well, this one we could do like, this one's still a little bit wet. Almost like a, let's come back to that one. Let's see, is this one dry? That one's not bad. We could do, kind of like a tulip. And then you could add to it and do some more. This is kind of like a hydrangea, sort of, to me. Yeah, that's just not dry enough. But you get where I'm going with that. I was just going to do like, and that you just do this and just keep bringing it in or pulling it out. But it's too wet. It's not doing it. This I thought would be cool. Let's do the thicker marker. Not that one. But this one is more like, and I'm just kind of going over what's there. There you go. So you guys can see what I'm saying. Now, if you're really not comfortable with that, you can also do some drawing. I mean, you can draw it out, which I don't know if you can even really see that. And then, you know, trace it too. So you've got that option as well. The last thing I just wanted to show you from a technique perspective, this has gesso on it. So the one that I did here, this is watercolor paper, but this too has gesso on it. And I want to show you the difference between a piece of paper that has gesso on it and one that doesn't. I'll just use this one that I don't like. Okay, so watch when I, we'll make a blue flower. So I think that's, no, I didn't. Let's just do some of those. I don't know what those are. There's a name for it. That is not blue. But watch how this, see how this kind of almost just sits a little bit? You have more playing time because remember, your gesso has a plastic to it, right? So like you can get a little bit more playing time with it versus I'm doing the same thing on this one and I want to get that same feel. It looks like it's doing the same thing, but just watch and see what the difference is. That's already soaked in, so now I can come back on and I can add another layer and really add some depth into it, where that's just going to sit. It's going to soak in, but I'm going to have to let it dry, let it dry, let it dry, come back to it. So I just wanted to show you that. So gesso is really fun to play with, and it automatically gives you that dimension. So if you're really uncomfortable and this is something totally new to you, this might be the thing to do. Let your gesso dry really, really well. Or dry it with your drying heat tool. And look look at that. I mean, how delicate that is. All it is one flower. Now, we can just dry that. Well, let's see. I feel like I want more up here. I just love how you can just kind of barely touch it and it just does its own thing. Yummy. So if you want, this brings a really cool look. And you can kind of see it in here. Do you see how those different levels are? I did nothing, and you can, plus it's got a cool texture. I was just tapping that on there. And with this, although this isn't watercolor either. Let's see if I have more of it. I thought I had another little chunk of it. I'll show you how I did that. See the difference there? Let's see. What color what did I use? Purple? We'll try it. And just look. That's how I did that. Laid it on there. Easiest way to make flour. Lay it down there just like that. But look at what it's doing with that gesso in it. Isn't that fun? You can make petals that way. You can make leaves that way. And there you have it. So many, many ways that you guys can use book page to, use your watercolors with your book pages. So we've got many, many different examples. Oh, this is also gessoed. I think I'll have to do some more. And if you're not into drawing and drawing isn't your thing, bust out your floral stamps. Bust out your, other butterfly stamps. But look how cute these turned out. You don't have to be an artist, meaning a true life artist. Even this ugly one, we're going to do something with it and make it something beautiful. You can, create a lot of really fun and cool things. So I wish you all the very best. And of course, if you have questions, please don't hesitate to call on me, to leave a comment. I would love if you subscribed, but I always like to hear from you. So until next time, friends, remember to take time to just be. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.